As the night unfolds, a gentle wind moves through the golden fields, carrying with it the scent of autumn leaves and faint memories of old times. The world feels softer now, the moon draped in a silver veil, the stars peeking shyly through drifting clouds. You're sitting by a quiet fire, its glow flickering like an ancient heartbeat, steady and calm. In the distance, the whisper of an owl echoes through the cool night air. You feel the world slowing down, each sound, each breath, each gentle flicker of light wrapping around you like a warm blanket. Tonight's story comes from long ago, from a time when Halloween wasn't about fright, but about wonder. A time of candles in windows, hearth fires glowing, and stories told to bring peace and connection through the night. So take a deep breath and let your mind settle. You are safe here, in this circle of warmth and stillness. The story begins in a small village tucked beneath the arms of an amber forest. It is late in the evening, and the air hums with the faint scent of apples and spice. Cobblestone paths glisten faintly with dew. At every doorstep, soft lanterns glow, carved pumpkins and hollow gourds painted with smiling faces. The villagers move slowly through the dusk. Their laughter is quiet, their voices hushed with the gentleness of ritual. It is Halloween night, long ago, a night of peace and gratitude. In the center of the village stands an old oak tree, its branches spread wide like a guardian. Beneath it, the storyteller sits, a figure wrapped in a wool cloak, eyes bright with warmth. His voice carries through the cool air, deep and kind. He tells tales not of ghosts that frighten, but of spirits that guide. Of loved ones who linger in kindness, unseen but near. Of candlelight placed in windows not to ward off fear, but to welcome peace. Children sit at his feet, their heads resting on their mother's laps, eyes half closed. The fire before him dances, its glow washing over faces calm and still. The night drifts slower with every breath. You can almost feel the weight of the blanket of stars above, the hush that covers the village like a dream. When the storyteller's voice faded into the hush of the evening, the villagers did not move at once. For a moment, they simply sat in stillness, watching the last curl of smoke drift upward from the small fire beneath the oak. The night air was cool against their faces, carrying the faint scent of damp leaves and distant wood smoke. Somewhere, a nightbird called, its cry soft and low. A sound that seemed to linger in the folds of the wind. One by one, the villagers rose, gathering their lanterns. The flames inside flickered gently, casting a golden glow across their hands. Each lantern was different. Some carved from hollow gourds, others made of glass panels painted with scenes of autumn fields, starlit skies, and quiet rivers. Yet all shared the same purpose: to bring light to the darkness, to guide their way through the sleeping forest. The old storyteller stood too, his eyes kind beneath the shadow of his hood. He nodded once toward the narrow path that led beyond the edge of the village, and the people began to walk. No one spoke. Their silence was not heavy, but reverent. The quiet of those who know they are stepping into something sacred. You walk with them now. The ground beneath your feet is soft with fallen leaves, cool and damp from the evening dew. Each step releases the earthy fragrance of autumn, a blend of moss, bark, and the faint sweetness of decaying leaves. The forest ahead glows with faint light where the lanterns sway, their reflections trembling on the puddles that line the path. The deeper you go, the softer everything becomes. The wind moves gently through the trees, rustling branches like whispered words. The sound of boots on stone fades to a slow, rhythmic murmur, as if the entire procession has fallen into the same calm heartbeat. Somewhere above, the moon filters through the canopy, spilling silver light that mingles with the golden glow of the lanterns. The children walk closer to their parents now, eyes wide with wonder. They don't seem frightened, only curious. They can feel the quiet magic of the night, the soft hum of something ancient watching over them. A few of them giggle when the light catches in their hair or when a gust of wind makes the flame flicker wildly, but even their laughter seems hushed, tender, like a sound from a dream. As the path winds deeper, the trees begin to lean closer, their branches arching high above like vaulted ceilings in an ancient cathedral. Their leaves shimmer faintly in the light, creating shifting patterns that dance across the forest floor. You can almost imagine that the forest itself is alive, that it breathes with you, that it listens. Every so often, the old storyteller murmurs a few words, telling quiet tales of the ones who came before, of the villagers from generations past who walked this same path each year, lanterns in hand, hearts filled with gratitude. He speaks of how they believed that the glow of each flame guided gentle spirits through the night, helping them find their way home. You glance around, and in that soft, drowsy space between waking and dream, you think you can see them, faint shapes of light drifting among the trees, like the shimmer of air on a warm day. They move without sound, tender and slow, as if drawn to the warmth of the living. But there is no fear here, only peace. Only a sense of belonging that stretches beyond time. The villagers reach a small stream that winds through the forest, its water glistening like a ribbon of glass. The sound of it is soothing, a low, continuous murmur that seems to blend perfectly with the rhythm of the night. They stop for a moment, setting their lanterns on the mossy bank. The light reflects across the surface of the stream, shimmering in soft ripples that dance against the current. The storyteller kneels, dipping his fingers into the water. He speaks of the old belief that the stream carries memories. That if you listen closely, you can hear the voices of those who once stood here before, whispering their stories to the flow. You listen. At first, there is only the gentle trickle of water, the sigh of leaves above. Then, in the quiet, it almost seems as though the stream does speak. Not in words, but in a feeling. A warmth that rises through your chest, spreading outward like sunlight through fog. It feels like comfort, like home. The villagers begin to hum a soft melody, an old tune, simple and wordless. It is the kind of song meant not to be heard, but to be felt. The notes float gently through the trees, mingling with the wind and water until they seem to belong to the forest itself. You feel your shoulders loosen, your breath deepen. As the sound fills the space around you, the lanterns are lifted once more. Slowly, the procession continues, following the stream until it opens into a wide clearing bathed in moonlight. The ground here is covered with soft moss, and in the center stands a great stone, worn smooth by centuries of rain and time. This is the heart of the forest, the storyteller says, where every lantern walk ends and begins again each year. The villagers form a circle around the stone. Their lanterns are placed upon it, one by one, until the clearing glows with warm, trembling light. The flames flicker together, their reflections dancing in the eyes of those who stand watching. The storyteller raises his lantern last, holding it high so that the light touches each face in turn. He speaks softly, his voice barely louder than the wind. Tonight, we remember, he says. Not with fear, but with love. We light these lanterns to guide those who wander, and to remind ourselves that we too are guided. By memory, by kindness, by all who came before us. The villagers bow their heads. For a moment, no one moves. The forest feels perfectly still, as if the entire world has paused to listen. The flames shimmer, and you can almost hear the quiet sighs of the unseen ones, not of sorrow, but of peace. A woman begins to sing, a lullaby, slow and low. Her voice carries like mist through the clearing, wrapping gently around every sound. The melody is tender, ancient, like something the earth itself might hum in its sleep. One by one, others join in until the night is full of quiet harmony. You close your eyes. The song feels like a dream within a dream, each note floating weightlessly in the air before dissolving into silence. The cool breeze touches your face, and somewhere deep inside, you feel an easing, a soft unwinding of thoughts, of worries, of time itself. The firelight pulses faintly behind your eyelids, slow as a heartbeat. You breathe in the scent of pine and ash, of soil and faint candle wax. You breathe out, releasing everything that no longer needs to stay. The song fades. The villagers open their eyes again, the clearing now filled only with the soft glow of dying flames. A few of them smile, that quiet kind of smile that comes from peace too deep for words. The storyteller nods once more, a silent signal that it is time to return. The lanterns are lifted once again, though many burn lower now. Their light has softened, mellowed, the kind of glow that feels almost alive. Together, the villagers begin their walk back through the forest. The path looks different now, somehow gentler. The trees that loomed tall and shadowed before now seem to bow slightly, their branches swaying in slow farewell. As you walk, the sound of the stream follows you, a gentle reminder of all the stories it carries. The hum of the forest grows fainter with every step, replaced by the faint crackle of fires waiting in hearths back home. You glance back once more at the clearing. The lanterns that remain upon the stone shine faintly in the distance, like stars fallen to earth. For a long moment, they shimmer in the mist, then fade slowly into the night. You turn forward again, and the village begins to appear between the trees, small points of golden light glowing through the dark. The air feels warmer here, filled with the promise of rest. By the time you reach the edge of the forest, the firelight from your own lantern glows low, but steady. The wind has calmed, and the first hints of frost sparkle on the tips of the grass. The night has deepened, but it feels welcoming. A blanket drawn close, a world ready for sleep. You pause, breathing in the stillness. Somewhere in the distance, the storyteller's voice echoes softly once more. The path winds deeper into the forest now. The night feels quieter than before, not empty, but full of presence, as if every leaf, every root, every breath of wind carries a voice of its own. The villagers walk slowly, the glow of their lanterns floating through the darkness like fireflies on a patient journey home. Above them, the trees arch high, their branches weaving together to form a living ceiling. Moonlight filters through in silvery ribbons, touching the ground in soft patterns. The air smells of earth and wood, damp moss and cool bark. The deeper you go, the more it feels as though the forest itself is watching, listening, remembering. For a while there are no words, only footsteps, only the sound of the wind sighing through leaves, only the crackle of fire within glass. Then, the old storyteller, who walks a few paces ahead, raises a hand for quiet. The procession halts. The forest responds with stillness so complete that even the air seems to pause. He turns slowly, his face glowing in the lantern light. "Listen," he says, his voice low and kind. The trees are speaking. The villagers glance upward. At first, they hear only the faint rustling of branches. But as the moments stretch and their hearts grow calm, they begin to notice more. Soft murmurs layered within the sound, like echoes carried from far away. It is not language, not as humans speak it. It is rhythm, movement, memory. A whispering that seems to come from the roots themselves, flowing upward through bark and leaf, through wind and air, and finally, into the space between the listener's thoughts. The storyteller kneels, resting one hand against the trunk of an enormous oak. The tree's bark is rough beneath his palm, yet warm, alive. He closes his eyes. Each tree, he says softly, remembers. They hold the stories of the earth within them. Every season, every storm, every voice that has ever touched the air around them. If you listen long enough, you can hear the stories they keep. The villagers follow his lead. They kneel too, beside oaks and ash, beside birch and pine. Their lanterns rest in the moss, their flames dimming to a faint, steady glow. The forest fills with the sound of gentle breathing, the hush of people listening not with ears, but with hearts. You kneel as well, feeling the cool earth beneath your fingers. The moss is soft and damp, the ground steady beneath your palms. When you touch the tree nearest you, something stirs, a slow, deep vibration that isn't sound but sensation. It hums faintly through your skin, through your bones, through the stillness that lives beneath thought. The forest breathes. You breathe with it. And in that shared breath, a story begins to unfold. At first, it's only impressions, flickers of feeling, gentle as the drifting of mist. You see sunlight filtering through leaves in another time, long before roads or houses or names. You feel rain falling softly through ages, hear the creak of branches bending under snow. The trees have stood through all of it, their roots twined deep in the soil, holding the memory of every passing year. The storyteller's voice returns, as soft as the rustle of leaves. They have seen everything. The first fires lit by ancient hands, the laughter of children who have long since turned to stars. They have known our joys and our losses, and still they stand, offering shelter to all who seek it. The trees do not hurry. They do not fear. They only grow. A hush falls deeper still. The villagers listen, and in the spaces between the sounds, something miraculous begins to happen. The whispering grows clearer, almost melodic. The branches sway gently above, and the wind flows through them like music. It's a tune older than language, a lullaby for the world itself. The storyteller rises, his eyes half closed. Once, he says, it was believed that the trees could speak to those who listened with a quiet heart, that their whispers could soothe sorrow and remind us who we are. He moves to a fallen log and sits, his lantern resting beside him. The villagers gather around, forming a circle once more. Their faces glow softly in the silver and gold of moonlight and flame. Would you like to hear what the trees remember? He asks. The villagers nod. The night waits. And so, he begins to speak again, though his voice is not alone now. It moves in harmony with the forest's sighs, as if he and the trees are telling the story together. Long ago, he says, before this village was built, before any name was carved upon these lands, The forest stretched as far as the eye could see. People lived quietly within it, not apart from the trees, but as part of them. They built their homes in the hollows of trunks, sang songs that echoed through the branches, and thanked the woods for every flame, every fruit, every breath of air. The trees listened. They learned the names of those who sang to them. They remembered the rhythm of their footsteps, the sound of their laughter. When those people were gone, the trees did not forget. They kept their stories safe, in the pattern of their rings, in the scent of their leaves, in the soft cradle of their roots. So when you walk among them, when you rest your hand upon their bark, you touch every story that has ever been told beneath their shade. The villagers listen in stillness. A woman leans her head against a birch, eyes closed. A man sits cross-legged in the moss, his fingers brushing fallen leaves. The children lie on their backs, gazing up at the canopy where moonlight flickers between branches. Every heart slows. Every breath deepens. Somewhere high above, a single leaf detaches from a branch and drifts downward, spinning slowly through the air until it lands upon the storyteller's lap. He smiles faintly and picks it up, holding it before the firelight. Its veins gleam like threads of gold. This, he says, is how the trees remind us, nothing is lost. Every leaf that falls becomes part of the earth again, feeding the roots that give life to new branches. Every story continues, even when it changes form. The villagers watch as the leaf trembles in his hand, then settles again. The firelight flickers once more, throwing warm shapes upon the trees, soft silhouettes that seem to move with breath and heartbeat. You sit very still, letting his words settle into you like drifting snow. You can feel them taking root somewhere deep inside, quiet truths that need no proof. The forest hums around you. The wind sighs. A few lanterns flicker lower, their flames bowing gently in the air. Then, from somewhere unseen, a sound begins, faint and rhythmic. It could be the creaking of branches. It could be the steady thrum of roots shifting in the earth. But it feels like music, slow, steady, pulsing with life. The storyteller listens to. Do you hear it? He asks softly. The heartbeat of the forest. The trees breathe in harmony with us. When we are calm, they are calm. When we love, they grow. A smile spreads quietly among the villagers. It's not the kind of smile that needs laughter. Just a soft lifting of the heart, a shared understanding of something ancient and kind. The storyteller closes his eyes, tilting his face toward the canopy. When you feel lost, he says, come here. Sit among the whispering trees. They will remind you that stillness is not emptiness. It is fullness waiting to be heard. Time drifts like mist. The fire grows smaller. The villagers remain, each lost in their own gentle reflection. You feel the forest within you now. Its patience, its deep calm, its steady rhythm. You imagine your own thoughts settling like leaves upon quiet soil. You imagine your heart becoming soft ground where peace can take root and grow. Above, the wind rises slightly, and the trees begin to sway in unison, their whispers blending into something almost human. Like a long, slow sigh of contentment. A child yawns softly. Another nestles against her mother's cloak. The air grows cooler, tender with approaching rest. The storyteller stands once more, brushing moss from his hands. The trees have spoken, he says. Their stories are ours now. Let us carry their calm back to the world beyond the forest. He lifts his lantern, its flame flickering low but bright. The others follow, and one by one, the clearing begins to glow again with points of golden light. The villagers rise, stretching slowly as though waking from a shared dream. No one speaks. They don't need to. The forest has given them its language, silence, presence, peace. As they begin their walk back through the trees, the whispering fades behind them. But in the hush that remains, something lingers. A memory that feels alive. You take one last look over your shoulder. The trees stand tall and still, their trunks silver in the moonlight. For a moment, it seems as though their branches wave gently, as if in farewell. You smile, your heart light and untroubled. The night holds you in its arms, and the soft rhythm of your footsteps carries you onward. Back toward the quiet village, back toward the comfort of home. And as the path opens before you, you realize something simple and profound. The whispering of the trees will follow you always. Not in sound, but in stillness. Not in words, but in peace. You breathe in the night, slow, deep, complete, and the forest breathes out, calm, endless, eternal. The forest has fallen into a deep and tender quiet. Only the faint sound of the wind remains, weaving softly between the trees, carrying with it the scent of damp leaves and distant smoke. The lanterns, once bright and lively, now glow like the last embers of a gentle fire, steady, peaceful, and small. The villagers begin their journey back. Their footsteps move carefully along the mossy path, guided by the silver wash of moonlight. No one speaks. There is no need. The silence between them feels sacred, full of understanding, as though the forest has shared something precious and fragile that still hums within their hearts. You walk among them, the ground soft beneath your feet, the air cool upon your skin. The night feels different now, calmer, wider. The whispering of the trees still lingers behind you, faint but ever present, like a soft song that will never truly fade. Somewhere ahead, the first lights of the village begin to shimmer through the mist. Tiny, golden dots glowing between the dark silhouettes of trees. It feels like looking upon a dream you once had, distant yet familiar. The storyteller walks a few steps ahead, his lantern swaying gently from his hand. His voice rises softly, almost like he's speaking to the wind. "Do you feel it?" he asks. The peace that follows when the story settles. The quiet that carries everything home. The villagers nod, their faces warm in the dim light. The air smells faintly of burning wood and honeyed bread. Far off, a dog barks once, a lonely sound that quickly melts back into stillness. You breathe deeply, and with each breath, you feel lighter, as if the night itself is carrying away whatever burdens lingered within you. The rhythm of walking becomes hypnotic, step after step, breath after breath. The path curves gently through the forest like a ribbon, leading you closer to the heart of the village and to the quiet comfort of home. The storyteller begins to hum an old tune, one known to every villager. A song of rest, of returning. Its melody is slow, circular, repeating like waves upon a shore. Some join softly, their voices blending in a low harmony that drifts through the trees. You find yourself humming too, without even realizing it, the tune rising and falling with your breath. The moon glows high above, pale and watchful, its light spilling across the path like milk poured over stone. Mist curls around your ankles as you walk, and somewhere in the shadows, an owl glides silently overhead, wings outstretched in the silver glow. The night feels endless, yet perfectly still, as though time itself has chosen to rest. As the forest begins to thin, the first cottages of the village appear, small, round-roofed homes with soft plumes of smoke drifting from their chimneys. Windows flicker with candlelight, glowing golden through frosted glass. The sight fills your heart with warmth, with belonging. You realize how far you've walked, and how gently the world has changed around you. The path that began in shadow now opens into light, not the light of day, but the soft, forgiving glow of homecoming. The villagers step quietly between the houses, their lanterns swaying low, their faces illuminated by the familiar glow of hearth fires burning inside. One by one, they begin to part ways, offering sleepy smiles, slow waves, small gestures of gratitude for the shared night. The storyteller stands in the center of the square, where the great oak tree rises like a guardian of memory. Its leaves shimmer faintly under the moon. He places his lantern at the base of the trunk and rests his hand upon the bark. This night, he says, belongs now to the forest, and to all of us who listened. His voice is barely more than a whisper. May its peace follow you wherever you go. You watch as the light from his lantern fades slightly, its glow absorbed by the darkness around it. The villagers nod silently, their eyes soft with understanding. Then, one by one, they begin to drift away, toward their cottages, their loved ones, their waiting fires. You linger for a moment longer, standing beneath the great oak. The air feels calm and alive, as if the tree is still whispering faint blessings into the night. You close your eyes and breathe deeply. When you open them again, the village looks even gentler than before. Every rooftop seems to glow faintly beneath the starlight. The world feels smaller, kinder, full of quiet beauty. You turn down the path that leads to your own home. The door waits at the far end, wooden, weathered, familiar. The lantern in your hand flickers one last time, then steadies, guiding your final steps. As you reach the door, you pause, letting the sound of the night settle around you. The faint chirp of crickets, the soft crackle of a nearby fire, the hush of distant wind through trees. Everything feels whole. You push the door open gently. It creaks in greeting, a sound that feels like an old friend's voice. Inside, the air is warm and scented faintly with cinnamon and cedar. The hearth glows, embers pulsing with soft light. The shadows on the walls move slowly, almost dreamlike, like gentle waves upon a golden shore. You hang your lantern near the window, and its glow joins the firelight, filling the room with a peaceful amber hue. Outside, the night continues its slow, endless rhythm. You can hear the faint whistle of wind beneath the eaves, the soft tap of a branch against the glass. Everything feels timeless. You sit down beside the hearth, feeling the warmth seep into your skin, into your bones. The fire crackles softly, and for a while, you simply listen. The sound is like breathing, a quiet in and out that matches your own. Your eyes grow heavy, but your mind is calm, clear, still at peace. On the small table beside you rests an old wooden box. You open it gently, revealing a few keepsakes from years gone by. A feather from the forest, a smooth stone, a tiny ribbon tied in faded red. You place your hand over them, smiling faintly. The night feels alive with memory. You can almost hear the laughter of old friends, the soft murmur of stories told long ago. They seem to fill the room, not as ghosts, but as warmth, as presence, as love that has never really gone. You pour yourself a small cup of tea, the steam rising in graceful curls that catch the light. The scent of herbs drifts through the air, soothing and sweet. You take a slow sip. The taste is gentle, honey and earth, comfort and time. As you drink, you hear a faint sound outside, the whisper of leaves shifting in the wind. You realize the forest is still there, close and watchful, breathing alongside the village, as though its calm stretches all the way into your walls, into your heartbeat. You close your eyes and let the sound wash over you. The memory of the whispering trees fills your thoughts, their slow, patient voices, their timeless wisdom. You imagine their roots reaching deep beneath the ground, carrying peace from one heart to another, binding everything together in stillness. The fire hums softly, the wind sings through the eaves, and you feel yourself sinking deeper into calm. Outside, the village has grown silent. The last lights in the windows flicker, then fade. Even the stars seem to soften, their glow muted by drifting mist. The air carries the faintest echo of the storyteller's tune, that old, circular melody of return and rest. You rise slowly and move to the window. The glass feels cool beneath your fingertips. You look out and see the forest at the edge of the fields. Vast, dark, and beautiful beneath the moonlight. For a moment, it seems the trees are leaning closer, as if still whispering softly to those who will listen. A sense of belonging fills you, gentle and deep. You are not apart from this night. You are part of it. Every breath you take seems to flow with the rhythm of the earth itself. You whisper a quiet thank you. To the forest, to the night, to the world that holds you. Then, you turn back to the warmth of your room. The fire has burned low now, glowing faintly red and gold. You spread a blanket beside it, its soft fabric cool against your fingers. As you lie down, the world grows even quieter. The air feels heavy with peace. Your breathing slows, steady and calm. Through half-closed eyes, you watch the last ember fade to a gentle glow, like the beating of a tiny heart. You feel safe, warm and loved, wrapped in the quiet rhythm of homecoming. Outside, the whispering of the trees drifts faintly through the open window. It sounds almost like a lullaby, soft, wordless, eternal. You smile, letting it carry you deeper into rest. The world breathes around you, and you breathe with it. Together in harmony. The journey is complete. The night holds you now, tender and still. You are home. The fire has burned low. Only a few glowing embers remain, pulsing faintly beneath the cradle of ash. Their soft light glimmers across the room like the last heartbeat of the evening. Slow, steady, eternal. You lie beneath your blanket, the warmth wrapping around you like the hush of a long, forgotten lullaby. The air feels heavy and gentle at once, filled with the faint scent of cedar, candle wax, and the lingering sweetness of tea. Outside, the wind drifts through the fields, carrying whispers from the forest, faint and rhythmic, like the breath of the world itself. The night is deep now. It feels ancient and alive, as though the stars themselves are listening to your breathing. Your eyes grow heavy, but your thoughts move softly, slowly, not restless, not loud. Just small, calm ripples across a still lake of feeling. The house sighs, a soft creak in the floorboards, a shift in the beams, the quiet hum of settling wood. It is the sound of time resting, the world taking a long, tender pause. The storyteller's words return to you faintly, carried by memory rather than sound. When the night grows quiet enough, the world tells its truest tales. You only need to listen. You smile to yourself. You do not need to think, not now. You only need to feel. You close your eyes, and the boundary between waking and dreaming begins to blur. The rhythm of the fire merges with your heartbeat. And soon, you are no longer sure if the flickering light on your eyelids comes from the hearth, or from the soft, glowing shapes that form behind your thoughts. At first you see color deep amber and dusk blue swirling like mist. Then, slowly shapes begin to emerge, gentle, familiar things. A lantern's glow, the curve of a moonlit path, the faint outline of trees against a silver sky. You find yourself standing once more in the forest, barefoot upon cool moss, though now it feels softer, almost cloud-like beneath your feet. The air hums faintly, filled with the warmth of stillness. Everything feels slower here, like time itself is breathing deeply. The lanterns are gone, yet light surrounds you, not from fire, but from the air itself. It glows softly, golden and white, rising and falling with each breath you take. The whispering trees are here, too. You recognize their voices, not as words, but as a feeling deep in your chest. A hum that vibrates in harmony with your heartbeat. You walk forward, and the forest parts gently to let you through. The trees seem to bend ever so slightly as you pass, their branches low and welcoming, like old friends bowing in greeting. You follow a winding path lined with fallen leaves. Each step you take is soundless, each breath soft as the sigh of mist. The air glows faintly, and small motes of light drift lazily around you, like tiny, dreaming stars. As you move deeper, the whispering grows quieter, until it feels as though the forest is listening, not speaking now, but waiting. And then, up ahead, you see it, a clearing bathed in moonlight. In its center stands a mirror, like pool, perfectly still, reflecting both the sky above and the glow of the trees around it. The surface shimmers faintly, as if the stars have chosen to rest there. You kneel beside the water, and the reflection gazing back at you is calm and peaceful. Not quite yourself as you know you, but softer, older, gentler. You reach out, and your fingertips brush the surface. The ripples spread outward, slow and graceful, transforming the reflection into light. The light rises, forming soft shapes, fragments of memory, of story, of love. You see the villagers' lanterns, their smiles, their quiet goodbyes. You see the storyteller beneath the oak, his voice like firelight and calm wind. You see yourself walking home through mist and starlight, carrying peace in your hands. All of it drifts upward now, glowing faintly, dissolving into the night sky like small, golden birds taking flight. The forest seems to sigh, and you feel something deep within you loosen, as though all the weight you carried has turned to light and drifted away. You lie back against the moss, the earth beneath you cool and steady. The stars above shine with gentle clarity, each one pulsing with quiet life. Their light feels closer now, not far away in the heavens, but surrounding you, inside you. You breathe in. You breathe out. And the whole world breathes with you. Somewhere far away, you hear the soft toll of a distant bell. Slow calm, like a lullaby marking the passing of time. It echoes through the forest, through your chest, through the endless calm that has settled deep within. The whispering begins again. But this time, it's not only from the trees. It comes from everywhere, from the sky, from the soil, from within your own heartbeat. It says, rest now. You have walked far enough. The words are not spoken. They simply appear inside your thoughts, as natural as breath. The story has brought you home. You close your eyes, and the sensation of floating takes hold. Gentle, weightless, safe. The forest fades, not vanishing, but softening, folding itself in the quiet space between dreams. Now, there is only warmth, only calm. A steady rhythm beneath everything, holding you. You are not alone. You never were. You find yourself drifting through a dream, not quite awake, not quite asleep. The world around you has become a landscape of memory and light. You walk again through the village, though now it feels different. Slower, softer, as though seen through the lens of a dream. The cottages shimmer like lanterns floating upon mist. The cobblestones beneath your feet glimmer faintly with dew. No one else is there, yet you can feel their presence. Warm, familiar, gentle. The laughter of children carried on wind, the hum of old songs lingering in the air. The world feels alive with peace. As you pass the great oak in the center of the square, its branches sway ever so slightly, as though waving to you. A single leaf detaches and drifts downward, glowing softly before landing in your palm. When you look at it, you see tiny lines glowing faintly along its veins. Not words, but something like meaning. You don't have to read it to understand. It says, you are safe. You are home. You are loved. You tuck the leaf close to your heart. Its warmth seeps through you like sunlight through quiet water. And slowly, the dream begins to fade. not into darkness, but into softness, into rest, into the deep, endless peace that lives beneath thought. You feel your body again, heavy, relaxed, grounded. The moss beneath you becomes the blanket on your bed. The forest wind becomes the faint hum of night beyond your window. You are here, in your own quiet space, safe, warm, home. The fire has nearly gone out now, but its warmth lingers in the air. A final ember glows faintly, like a small star resting beside you. You watch it flicker once, twice, then settle into stillness. Outside, the world sleeps. The trees stand silent beneath the moon. The air is full of calm. You close your eyes once more. The story is complete. The circle is closed. The forest, the village, the lanterns, the whispering trees. They all live now within you, quiet companions in the landscape of your dreams. You drift deeper, your breath long and slow. The rhythm of the night matches your own. Each exhale carries you further into peace. Each inhale fills you with light. The storyteller's voice seems to return one last time, faint and tender. Not outside, but within you rest. Now, dear dreamer, the story has done its work. You are held by the night, carried by the calm, safe within the gentle arms of time. The sound fades, replaced by silence so soft it feels like love itself. Your heart slows. Your mind empties. Only warmth remains. And in that warmth, a single truth glows quietly. A truth as old as the forest, as kind as the stars. You are not alone. You never have been. Before you drift away completely, remember you are part of this quiet world of dreams. Subscribe to Cozy Camp Stories, and let your nights be filled with peace, one story at a time.